Guys, Luke here from Mr. FBA UK. Right, today we are going to be looking through a Chrome extension I have been trialing. It's called FBA Multi-Tool. Now, some of you may have already seen it, heard of it, or used it. But apart from the other day, no, never really heard of it. So I thought I'd take a little look, compare it to some of the others I've used, and go from there. So, what exactly is it? Well, some of you may have already used many other versions. I've used SELLERBOARD before, and it's basically just a Chrome extension, which you can sort of see in this little picture. Populates on the right hand side, and it will give you details like, is it hazmat, how much ROI you might get, and margins, and profit. It's a really nice website. It's basically constantly being updated by Zach, who is the creator of the software. Yeah, so far really impressed. Really nice detailed website if you're looking to see what it actually does before you go ahead and purchase. But there's also free trials that sometimes he offers to people like us just to give the software a try. So if you want to have a look at the website, it's fbamultitool.com. As you can see, if you want to actually join the Facebook group, you can click just here, go ahead, and maybe ask him some questions if you have any further questions about the actual software. He's really responsive. A great thing about the software is that he always seems to be updating it every month. So apart from maybe asking in the group here or he posting on the actual website, you'll see that there's a little bit at the bottom which is showing you each month what he's actually adding to the software rather than leaving it as a finished product. So anyway, let's go and have a little look and see what it actually does. So just here I've pulled up a standard Disney Aladdin Jasmine doll, as you might find from any toy store or Disney store, for example. Now, straight away, you can see that there's this PL detector right here. It's green, 3 stars. Now, I mean, I already know, but some of you may not. This will then detect that it's not likely to be a private label product. And what you'll see here is it might be a one circle for a red, meaning it's likely that it's a private label and maybe stay away from the product. That's a great little 1 second glance just to sort of put yourself at ease maybe if you're not too sure about the item. But then as you can see here on the right hand side, you can see the plugin. It's quite detailed, so I'll go through each section just so you can see. So a great thing here, you can see it says hello Luke, so I'm logged into my Amazon account. Now automatically it will tell me if I can list the product. So I did ask Zach how this would actually know if I can list the product, because I didn't want to take it for granted, buy a product, find out it was actually wrong, or maybe I needed to double check. So I asked him and he said as long as I'm signed into my account, it's actually reading it from my Amazon account directly, so this is actually personal to me, which is great. And so far I have double checked on the Amazon app just to see if maybe you know, every so often maybe one was wrong, but so far I've come up with nothing that is different to what this software is telling me, which is perfect. So here, if you want to check its hazmat, obviously I know that this is probably not hazmat as there's already Amazon sellers fulfilled by Amazon here, but if it's maybe not a product like this, you just want to double check, you just go ahead and click check hazmat and it will come up with if it's currently under hazmat. And then you know, some of you may know that products go in and out of hazmat, so it might be that you could see historically from maybe the keeper down here that there have been quite a lot of FBA and it's dropped off, and it will give you whatever it is at time of search. So obviously as of today it's sellable. Perfect. So here, just like you've got down here, as most of you would already know from your usual keeper graph, you've got the sales data, which is just a little bit more of a sort of easier way to click if you want to go through, check some of the sellers down here and see what they're selling it at. But yeah, that's just a standard keeper that you would see on nearly all of your searches anyway, so that's fine. You can see it's a top 3% here. It actually shows you the rank just below here, so if you're thinking what's top 3%, right down here, 25,000 in toys and games, so perfect, nothing to worry about there. I usually go up to 100,000, Q4 maybe a little bit higher, but you know, anything below 50, perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So right here, just below, we've got a little cog. Now, I've been playing around with this cog. I don't really use it too much here. Ignore that 13%. So if you're VAT registered, you can just click this button here and type in, let's say 20%, and save it across here. And what that will do is it will take into account all of your VAT that you may have to pay. So when you type in your buy price, let's say we're going to type in £9, and you can see that it's currently selling at £17.50, which is obviously here, and that will automatically populate into that sell price box, so that's good. And you just go ahead and click the calculate profit button here, and what happens, you'll see this bit down here with the FBA fee breakdown. Straight away it will come up with some details. So this is if you are not VAT registered. Just as an example, it will show you referral fees, the FBA fees, total fees, and if you are VAT registered, just here, it will give you the VAT to be sort of held, or you would have to account for that. And it will actually take into consideration the buy price, as if you're paying 20% VAT on the sell price, you also obviously claim back your 20% on the buy price. So it will basically go against each other with those, and just give you the VAT payable as a difference, rather than giving you a sort of slightly skewed profit here. So you can see ROI 42%. So you know, most OA sellers would say 30% or above, or maybe something like £2 or more. So both of those are covered. Profit margin here, and it just gives you your break-even price, just if that's something you're looking for. So really nice, really fast as well. Found that with seller cars, sometimes it would take a long time to load, and there would be issues with some of this data not always showing, which was a bit bizarre. But yeah, but you know, a couple of little extras gives you the weight and the ASIN, which is all fine. You can usually find that at the bottom of the page. And if you're looking for more of the euro sales, you can just activate the EFN estimate. So that's just going to show you a rough estimate of what it thinks the fees would be for the European fulfillment network if you're selling in Europe. But usually, for me, I'm going to keep that off. If I'm looking to sell in Europe, I'll look at it after the UK, and I don't mind just spending a bit more time to double check that. But leading on from that, you can see at the very bottom here, we actually have another little section which is showing you the European prices. So we've got obviously Germany, France, Spain, and Italy, of course UK. And here you can see not much difference in price really, so it's about the same. But what you do get is that, you know, at times you will find that prices are sometimes say double, or they're at least 30 to 50% higher than what they are in the UK. Here, practically the same, and it also gives you the rank. So sometimes, you know, you might see that in Germany it's 3 times more expensive, but actually the rank is 500,000, and so it won't sell. But here, when you're just searching for your normal searches for the UK, you know, you're looking to buy this for the UK, as I would be, you might be really pleasantly surprised to find out that actually you can sell in another country and make a really nice profit on top. For example, if this Italy one was at 30 and you can see the rank is at 5,000, you might be better just to delve into the Italy one and find out if it's actually worth selling there. And usually I would never know this. So with me personally, I would set my prices, and then if I was lucky, I would sell it in Europe. I would put the prices up for Europe, obviously to cover the costs, and then I would sell in Europe if it by chance it actually was more expensive in that country. And that actually I'm using this to sometimes buy more units so that I can cover my UK purchases like I would maybe for 5 to 10 units. But then I might realise that I can also sell in Italy and then buy another 5, so that I'm actually covering 2 markets. But before I wouldn't be doing that. I would buy the 5 to 10, and if a couple sold in another country, great, the rest would then sell in the UK. So I can use that now as a bit more of a sort of, I can leverage this a bit more to accurately predict exactly how many I might sell across all the marketplaces. So yeah, overall I'm really happy. It's really good. And he, yeah, like I said, he's constantly updating it. So I've had a couple of questions that I sort of put towards him just to see if he wanted to clarify, or to see if he might be updating it. And he is literally, every point that I've given him, he's taken note and been quite like responsive in feedback. And every month he's told me that he's going to be rolling out new features. And already it has a lot of features which I like anyway that I wouldn't necessarily use. And I'm actually now being maybe 100% faster, to 50 to 100% faster in the way that I'm now searching and recording the data, which before was just taking a little longer. And obviously, if you're going to be buying a lot of stuff, a couple of minutes here and there all adds up at the end of the day, and you don't really want to be spending more time than you need to on this sort of thing. Yeah, so perfect. And just to double check for anyone of you who is curious, if you're looking to see how much it costs, back onto his website, you click across to the pricing. For me, I when I was using this, I didn't actually check the price until a little after, so I was a bit curious at the time to what he actually may be charging. So of course this might be really important to anyone that's sort of starting out, because you don't want to spend too much money on your expenses. So again, obviously all the things he's added recently, and I'm sure this will be updated as months go on. And here we are. So we have 2 pricing options. We have £15 per month, or maybe around $20 per month, or £140 per year, which is a saving discount if you pay in a lump sum. Maybe $165. I'm not entirely sure on that. You might have to just look that up yourself. They both provide exactly the same services, so it doesn't matter if you want to pay the 15. Personally, I usually pay the monthly on nearly everything I do, because that means that you're trickling through smaller amounts out of your bank to keep the cash flow a little bit cleaner. That way you're not paying out bulk sums which could potentially hinder your purchases on any particular day. So it keeps purchase sort of rhythm at a nice constant without having to have peaks and troughs in your purchasing. Yeah, so to me, £15. If anyone's worrying about £15, I would say that you've got to sort of look at maybe what you're actually doing, because for me, I'm going to be worrying about £15 a month for something which is actually potentially making me money, maybe on the European side, where I can double check and what I can sell through Europe. Then it needs to be looked at a bit further, maybe what you're actually doing, or your overall sort of strategy to sell on Amazon. But yeah, I mean, I know that Sellercast was about £8, but again, it probably has about less than half of the features, and the software was a little bit glitchy. I know that there are other services out there which are a bit more, I believe. I haven't actually used them, so I don't want to start commenting. But yeah, out of 10, I'm going to say it's a 9 out of 10, because it's basically a very new software, not really being around, and so far it's really impressed. And I'm sure it'll be a 10 out of 10 once the new features are rolled out each month. And pricing wise, really spot on. I can't see, £15 for a whole month is great. And what I like about it is that if there is something I want added, I can just go directly to Zach and just even give him a message on Facebook or in the group. And I'm really confident that within a few months that feature would be implemented on the software, and it's actually going to provide me extra value as the months go on. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you can go directly to his website, obviously FBA Multi-Tools. Join the Facebook group that he has and ask him directly questions. And with me, he's responding within 5 minutes, me providing. And yeah, so if you like this, just smash it a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned, and you can see more videos from me soon. Cheers.